Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is MELIYA Sari. My student number is 186111015. And in this video, I would like to explain about critical period in second language acquisition. I will do this because of in terms of final examination for second language acquisition subject, and I will explain it based on my point of view. So here it is. Here we are. Critical period is an important period of time in which the process of learning a foreign language, especially second language, critical period considered as the most effective time to learn new language or a second language with maximum results in the end. From the study, it is revealed that a critical period ending around 17 years of age for the most effective acquisition of a second language. There was an evidence showed that a critical period of second language syntax acquisition that extends to late adolescence, only declining around the age of 17. And to get a better understanding about critical period, Johnson proposes a framework distinguishing between neurobiological and behavioral views of the critical period. Their argument regarding HTP's critical period results is that they may not be confined to the narrow domain of second language syntax learning, but represent larger behavioral and neural changes. They used a much larger than normal sample to investigate the nature of a potential critical period for second language acquisition. At the age of 10 to 12 years old, children begin to experience a decrease in the critical period time, and at the age of 17 years old, a child's critical period will decrease drastically. Hartshorne and German found out that language task performance drops starkly in the late teens. This contradicts the tendency to focus on early childhood and infancy as the critical periods for language acquisition, such as developmentally, the experience dependent word boom in early childhood has always represented the peak of language acquisition, and performance afterwards is true. So far, the researchers have reviewed HTP's results indicating a steep decline of second language syntax learning ability around 17.4 years of age. HTP argued that this finding is compatible with the view that language learning ability is the only ability to show a drop so early in life. It is worth to note that critical periods in second language have a more nuanced nature than critical periods in a first language, especially when sequentially acquired. This raises the need for an explanation of the later closing critical period, such as one that takes into account the complications of second language learning through the lens of neural development and behavioral development. The comparison in brain activity observed before and after the period extreme vocabulary growth during early childhood revealed language-related activity that was more generalized both in regions of activation and stimuli to which they would react for more. Implication of HTP's findings in the remaining section of this paper will consider the implications of HTP's findings, focusing on three specific questions. The first question: why does HTP's critical period close so much later than those generally used in the language acquisition literature? Second, what role might the decline of other broader cognitive skills play in the decline of second language learning abilities? Number 3, third question, what models may best explain the late close of HTP's critical periods in terms of said other skills? Here we present two models, interactive specialization and neuromergentism, which focus on the relationship between brain, behavior, and development. Answers to the questions before surrounding HTP's critical period using the NM framework would be more general than IS. First, it would predict that early life injury to any system involved in any syntax learning, no matter how distal, would have an observable effect on the critical period development of that skill. And understanding how early bilinguals use other skills to improve their language abilities from such a plastic period of life would aid in explaining the differences they show in those skills when later compared to monolinguals and late bilinguals. These frameworks are neurobiological, and this discussion is meant to encourage linking cognitive and biological approaches, but the effect of environment cannot be ignored when considering critical periods and cognitive development. HTP's publication involving a large number of participants led to the identification of a critical period for syntax, with the window for the acquisition closing at 17.4 years of age. And from the paper, they describe two frameworks. They are interactive specialization or IS and neuromergentism or NM that could be leveraged in further investigations of HTP's evidence critical period and the mechanisms underlying the critical period's closure. Okay, I think that's enough for the critical period in second language acquisition. That's all. Thank you.